Hello, friends. I thought I'd go online here with you this evening and hold presence with you and see if anybody would like to chat about anything. Otherwise, I'll just be holding presence for a while and see if it pops in and what they would like to talk about. Hello, thanks for tuning in to the Spiritual Scientist channel. My name is Victor Hamsa. I'll be holding presence with you this evening. I had a friend of mine that said that three of her friends, not that long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, committed suicide. So I thought to come online this evening. I was reflecting about it while I was just meditating and to hold presence with you. And when I say hold presence, is to be in our now authentic self of being present now and being focused in on the moment. And if anybody would like to meditate with me live or chat or just talk or want to talk about any subject, I wanted to make myself available to help. And I wanted to say to everybody out there, blessings to you and your family, blessings to your household. May your household be cleaned of negative aspects and blessed. And I want that to go out to everybody who watches my channel. Anybody who wishes me to pray for them, I will. Anybody who comments, I'll be praying for you as well. And I wanted to maintain presence. So by presence, I'm not looking at the past. I'm not looking at the future, just being present. Present right now in this moment. Being everything that I can be now with you live on YouTube. So if anybody'd like to mention anything, that's fine if you don't. We just maintain peace and presence. And when I say peace, let that anxiety that you feel, let all that go away. If you have anxiety now in you, notice the anxiety. If you have anxiety now, notice the anxiety where it's in you, and that's just a different energy. The energy is separate from you. That's because you're not assimilating that energy, so that energy is anxiety. So when we have anxiety and stress, it's because if you look at two rocks and two rocks come up against each other, and they, like an earthquake, they stress against each other, and that's the stress. That's what we picture as stress. Instead, if you assimilate that energy, then there is no stress. So if you worry about things, worrying doesn't serve you at all. Like Jesus the Master said, don't worry about things. He said, don't worry about, look at the lilies and how they grow. So when you worry about, what do you worry about? If you worry about your future, has it happened yet? No. It sounds trite, but people are worried. They worry about everything. If you worry about something, then you can change it. If you worry about something you can't control, then you can't control it. So why worry? This is live, so if anybody'd like to comment, I'm here. I thought I'd make myself present and available for you. A blessing to your household for watching this. A blessing to you now. A blessing in your life. Let your life be blessed and whole. Let everything, all the worries that you have, fall away. Let everything dissipate. All the negative aspects in your life. All the negative soul ties that you have. all the past relationships that were negative, let them go. If you have a negative relationship in the past, let that go and let it be a lesson to you. All soul ties, let those be broken. All soul ties, all negative aspects, all negative karma, let that go. If you have a negative entity in your life, a negative being, a negative thing in your household, let that vanish. Let that be gone. You give yourself permission to be the most positive you there is. Now, imagine that there's a multiverse. Imagine a multiverse with many different yous. Imagine they're all in the same room. Imagine which one of those would you want to be? And then be that person. That's all it is. If you look at life from a multiverse perspective, we are solely defined by the choices we make. We are not defined by what we think. We're not defined by anything but our actions. So how you act is how the world is going to react. So act the way you want to act. Be the way you want to be now. So for everybody joining, I'm wishing blessings upon you. I really am. I want you to be blessed and healed. I want everybody watching my channel to be blessed. Abundance in your life. Imagine that your life is empty. You're grateful in your life, and you're grateful. And you're so grateful that abundance is going to come to you. A big windfall. All those good things. We want everything positive for you. All the good spirits. Now the universe is all lining up in positiveness. Does anybody have any comments or questions? I just wanted to lend my presence to everyone in a positive manner. I just got done with the meditation. And I had many different things I was going to talk about in a video. And in my meditation, my higher self, the aspect said, why don't we just be present for people? Be present. Be positive for each other. You know, there's too much stress. It's like when if you're manifesting your universe and then there's stress, you're looking for stress, then it's like it's like you're praying for bad things to happen, isn't it? It's like you're worried about getting a job, and so you have that block in between you and that job. Instead of assuming that you're going to get it, you know, we have that negativity, that layer in between us. If anybody'd like to, Gilgamesh Gillian just commented, thank you, Victor. You're welcome. Imagination is so important. I wonder what you think about co-creating a new civilization. So I was reflecting on that about a month ago. In imagination. And I made up a meme about that. And I'm sorry for the darkness in here. I need more light. But I look at these videos later. Sometimes I say, oh, it looks so dark. But I wanted you to know that what is imagination? You know, in our conceptualized version of reality, I came to understand that there is, within our imagination, there is nothing that you can conceive. Here's a mind-blowing thing. There's nothing that you can conceive that can't be achieved. So, for instance, the Wright brothers, they had an imagination that people could fly. And they created a flying machine, and they ended up flying. There is nothing that you can conceive that is not achievable. People thinking, well, what about flying? What if I just wanted to fly? Well, it's all there is nothing that you can imagine that can't be real in a positive aspect. So I wanted to talk about that since you mentioned it. How your higher self takes the forces of reality and translate it into is how you connect with your high to reality. So when you imagine that there's abundance going to be abundance in your life, and then it happens. Imagine, so imagination is a powerful tool that as children imagine everything. As adults, a lot of us lose the power of imagination, but everybody should develop your power of imagination and understand that it's directly connected to manifestation. Without imagination, there is no manifestation, you see. So, manifestation and imagination are two sides of the same coin. So, that's very important. I can't talk enough about that. And then, your second part of your statement, question or statement, I wonder what you think about co creating a new civilization. I love that question. There's many things I think about with my imagination about a new civilization. And it's not something I take lightly. I think about civilizations where we all have a house on a water away from the rules and laws of that have bogged down civilization with new rules and new laws, making up a new civilization where we could live in peace and harmony. I think about that sometimes. And then there's people that are doing it. So there is actually people doing that. In Micronesia, as I recall, they have a um, they have a colony that they were building out in the water. It's going to be something that you'll hear about in a few years. Um, the Rothschilds as well are building giant pyramids out on the water. Strangely enough, and so people are interested. If you're more than, I believe, 10 miles away from the coastline, you can, in California, the one of the founders, I believe, of was it Oracle or he wanted to do that as well, or was it Google? Um, they were going to build a build a city, and that way, if you wanted a medical procedure and it was outlawed in the United States, you just fly in a helicopter. And in a few minutes, you're on the deck of a huge city, and you can have any procedure you want. But within a co-created new civilization, where a lot of people fantasize and use their imagination for what to change the world, that can be. I think that within, there's been different gurus over time. Like I think of, large cults and things like that have happened where they try to create their own civilization, and something always happens and it gets screwed up. In my idea, what I have now is that we like Anon, we disseminate information and we're all separate, and everybody's in their own separateness, but within the separateness we're all together. And one of us falls down, and we're all different cells, so another one is there, and we all learn from each other, and then everybody's growing. And you can't stop something that's like that. You can't stop something that's separate, but yet we're together. So I think that's not the Hail Hydra idea from, I cracked myself up, from Captain America. But instead of us all having to go somewhere, you know, maybe we could change our life from the inside. I did pray a lot about that once, and I was given the opportunity to go somewhere and be in like a commune or retreat. I've done that before. And maybe that would be a good idea, but just to change society, from the inside, that is maybe an impossible task, but I think a lot of people are working on it. But co-create a new civilization, there could be something, good to be said about that. Um, if they ever get it going on other planets, that would be a neat thing, right? So, and the closest star is now 4.4 light years away, Andromeda. And if we ever get there, who says you have to go all the way there, though? Maybe we could do it all together here. Hello, Victor, Lightworker. Love that name. Hello, Lightworker. Mwah. I was wondering if you heard of the raw material, the Law of One. If so, what was your thoughts on it? Yeah, it was funny because I keep grabbing a piece of string. If I saw, I have read the Law of One a little bit. And when I say a little bit, like I read through things and then I go, oh yeah, I know that, I know that, I know that. So it all seems like I don't want to sound, well, I always sound weird, don't I? But it sounded like to me when I read it that I already knew all that information already. So um, it was it was out there already in the universe, and I already had that information. So I was reading it, and I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. Not to make it sound trite, but like when you meditate and you finally open your seventh chakra to universal consciousness, and then you get all this transcended information that all of a sudden, and then you do that for years, and then you read something like that, it's like, yeah, I know. So that it doesn't seem new to me. It just sounds like the law of one. Yeah, sounds right. There's a lot of things. There's from 0 to 1,000. There's a this this gentleman made up, and he actually, the way I understood it, he came up with it. He's kinesiologist, so he went and he could actually put his hand on your body, and then he would read your nervous react electrical signals in the 1,000 different aspects of knowledge in a vibrational sense. So he would translate the Bhagavad Gita, and then he would have people read that in the Bible, and then some people were at different, levels for vibrational frequency. I would think that the law of one is a vibrational frequency. I would think that the law of one is a higher vibrational frequency than than some other information out there. I believe the Bible was about seven. The Hindu texts were in the 800 range. By the way, like, subscribe, and share. Like. Or the busy. Anybody else want to comment on that? Talk. Uh, there's the emerald tablets and things like that they came out with. Um, I grew up with the Bible. So that's my go-to. But I try to